What is up, everybody? Welcome back. Summertime outdoors. If not watching any of the previous videos, I'm Ethan Summer, and it is deer season here in Maryland. It is mid-November now. I got permission on a new farm down on the eastern shore this season. It's around 100 acres, and I got it from my boss from work. It's his property, so he's let me bow hunt here this year, and we've had some really good hunts. I hunted this fallow field all of September, October, mostly October. September was spent mostly scouting the field, just kind of getting a feel for the property. And so it's super exciting. And I'm gonna take you back into October to some of my hunts on this field. And then we found another spot back in the woods that I'll explain later in the video. So it's gonna be a good video, a lot of big deer, and some real close quarter rutting, scraping activity. So it's a really awesome video, and I hope y'all enjoy it. Platform, book bag, got our bow. All I gotta do is grab my camera, and we're gonna get back in the woods, find a tree to get up in for tonight's set, and hope for the best. Settled in here. We have a stream right down in this bottom behind me, and there's like no wind today, so I'm hoping it just kind of pulls my scent back in there a little bit, but I guess we're gonna find out. We bumped a few deer on the way in, and ended up coming right on the field edge, so I'm hoping we can get some does or a nice buck to come down this field edge, because there's some oak trees on the edge of this fallow field dropping some acorns, so I'm thinking they're going to be grazing right through here within 30 yards. So that's my plan, so let's get to hunting. Alright guys, it is Halloween day. I missed one of the biggest bucks of my life last night back at home, but I'm down at school now hunting my boss's farm again, where I've hunted 3 or 4 times early season on this field back behind me. But I found a really good scrape line in the woods. The wind's just kind of swirling, but I have been getting a couple nice bucks daylighting on the scrape and a bunch of does going through there, so I'm just gonna full send it in there tonight. Hopefully the Halloween buck is in there and he's waiting for me. So it's 4 o'clock now. I just got out of class for the day, so I'm gonna sneak on back there and hopefully get on a deer tonight. This wind's pretty risky, but I'm gonna try it because I think it might pay off. So it's pre-rut still, scrapes are hot, so I think that's where I gotta be tonight. 3 scrapes that way. Community scrapes 25 yards there. The buck's coming right through here. Coming right either around this way or he's going around the other side. So it's close quarters tonight. The wind's kind of pushing to my back right, and he always comes from my left on the camera. So I also have a pocket to shoot right into these pines too, but I don't have much cover on the tree. But what I do have is a lot of ground cover in between me and the deer. So by the time they get out into this open little meadow here on these scrapes, I'll be a full draw already. So that's the plan. I don't know if it's going to work, but I think it's going to be one heck of a try. So we're going to sit tight. It's dead quiet. We also have this 4-wheeler trail coming out right here too. So it's a really good bench. So we'll see what happens. Meh. What am I doing? Meh. What am I doing? Alright guys, well, as you can see, I'm back on campus in the dorm, and as you just saw, I shot way over that buck's back But I kind of just wanted to give you guys an overview on kind of how I set up that spot and kind of the layout of that property and why I picked that spot. So there is a thick CRP field. It's around probably 20 acres of just 5-foot tall grass, and then that's out in front of me. And then there's a driveway of the property owner, and then it's that little clearing that I was hunting with all those scrapes in it. And then back behind there, it's all just thick cover that you really, if you get up in any tree back in there, there's just too many branches in the way. You'd have to cut a bunch of lanes out. So I decided to sit right on the edge of the thicket on that little clearing where all those scrapes were, and I figured that's where all those bucks were coming through to kind of scent check in that pre-rut. Because on the rest of the property during that week, I didn't find any scrapes, and then I went over there and I'm like, it was right next to the driveway. It's kind of weird, but it was all torn up. Threw a camera up in there, had bucks daylighting, usually around last light, and Halloween came around and they were on the camera. They're coming from the neighbors onto my boss's property, so the wind was blowing back into the cover behind me. I knew there was a slight chance deer would probably come back from there, but as it worked out, both those nice deer came from the neighbors through that CRP, crossed the driveway, came right into the buck nest is what I'm calling that spot now after that hunt. But first buck come right in front of me. I don't have a lane there. I had the lane to the right, and he made a scrape out of my shooting lane, worked his way back because there's a doe and another smaller buck back behind that deer, and he smaller buck started pushing the doe around, and that bigger deer didn't like that, so he kind of pushed that little buck off and followed the doe all the way around almost onto the driveway, and never got a shot at him. Had him at full draw when he was making the scrape because I thought he was going to walk out into my shooting lane, but didn't work out that way. Around 10-15 minutes later, I see another doe, and then an even nicer buck came right in. He came into my first shooting lane, but he was right on kind of the outskirts of it, so there were some branches in the way. So I had him at full draw one time, decided not to shoot, let down. He worked his way to the community scrape where I really wanted those deer to come and get a good shot because it was only 25 yards away. And he came through this, there's like a little thick bush where they make all the scrapes in the middle of that little clearing in there, and I get the full draw on the deer. I have my finger in front of my trigger, and usually I put it behind there so I can really aim my pins on the deer, pick out a little hair on the deer right behind the shoulder and shoot, but I have my finger in front of the trigger, and when I went to stop him, I went mer, and then as soon as he stopped, he like kind of flinched and looked. I shot immediately, just off of, I guess, instinct or buck fever or whatever you really want to call it, but it was kind of an accidental, like it surprised me when I shot, and it's kind of just a hiccup on my end, and it was the second deer I missed in 2 days, so I was really just beating myself up about it. So we didn't get the job done, but all in all, it was a sweet hunt. It's an awesome property to hunt. I'm going to be back in there all through November, so hopefully I can redeem myself on that buck or another bigger buck I have on camera there. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I just really wanted to explain kind of what had happened because it was so dead quiet that night that I couldn't really talk in the stand, and there was deer within 30 yards of me almost the entire hunt. So hope you all enjoyed. Like and subscribe if you like this video, and we'll see you next time. Happy hunting.